All right, welcome back. It's been a very slow day or two, but just now in the past couple hours, we finally have some action. Bitcoin breaking out of a descending triangle, Link possibly hitting all-time highs, Tezos finally breaking out, S&P 500 bouncing. So we're going to break down everything today, guys. This is Crypto Rolly, the crypto watch that never stops. Live technical analysis, price predictions, and trading. Remember, these are my own ideas and opinions on the market. Okay, so do your own research, trade at your own risk. Hit that like, comment, subscribe, tick the bell for notifications. All right, let's jump into it. Looking at the market, you can see volume's really low, under a billion. But like I said, just in the past hour or two, right after the daily close today, we saw a nice little pump. So we'll have to see, will there be some follow through? I hope so, okay? So, very minor change in the price on Bitcoin and most of the coins in the, top 10. But we do see Tezos is up almost 8%. Chainlink is showing, basically nothing has changed here, but very interesting chart to look at on Chainlink. So, we'll take a look at that towards the end, guys. All right, let's keep it moving. The Crypto Fear and Greed Index around the 40, still hanging out pretty low. But you know what, guys? When those are fearful, maybe it's time to get greedy. Or do we just dump? There's a lot of indecision in the market right now, and rightfully so. So everyone's waiting. Maybe they're waiting on the sidelines for that next move, that next signal. So let's look at the chart, see what we can see, okay? The Bitcoin block halving, 67 days away. Earlier today, there was FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. CME Bitcoin futures volume collapses, points to lack of institutional faith. Basically, they're pointing out that, as the stock markets were crashing, there's, panic across the world with, the different global markets, that the CME futures, their open interest has dropped off a lot too, okay? But you know what? This might just be FUD because we see the price bouncing right now. So let's look at the price. And guys, I did just announce I have a new trading group. I'm teaching y'all how to trade if you want to learn or if you want to sharpen your skills. I have tutorials. I have exclusive charts, videos. I'm there all day for you to ask me questions. So if you're interested, contact me on Twitter at Crypto Rolly. I'm doing a special promotion. It is a brand new group, so your first month will be 50% off, all right? But I'm not here to shill all day. I'm here to show the charts, okay? So let's just go first. Okay, hold on. I wanted to look at the lower time frames, but I did want to show you the S&P 500 because in yesterday's video we were talking about how they look pretty correlated actually. So you can see on the S&P 500, we had that sell-off, much like Bitcoin, and then we had a breakout, much like Bitcoin, a little bit of a fall. And see, what's interesting, we can even pull up the two charts at the same time. So let's do that. So this is going to be SPY, and then on the right side, we'll pull up Bitcoin, okay? So I was monitoring this because I was looking at a descending triangle, which I definitely will show you guys. But the thing is, okay, so let me go to that. We got the hourly here too as well. Okay, we're zooming out. So you see how we fell and then it bounced on the S&P 500. We fell, we had that rally up on Bitcoin. They were looking very correlated. And then we had this this little bit of a correction here on the stock markets, and we had that same correction on Bitcoin. But as of just a few hours ago, the stock market had taken off a little bit today, okay? But Bitcoin was still hanging around here. But in the last hour or so, we saw Bitcoin is starting to take off. So will Bitcoin follow in the steps of the stock market? We will see. But this is interesting. We'll definitely have to keep our eye on this moving forward. So let's keep going. Let's stick with the Bitcoin talk, though. We'll go into Bitcoin. Looking at the 1 hour, we'll just look at the 1 hour here. I was looking at a potential descending triangle, and descending triangles, most often they do break to the downside, but we saw we had this potential descending triangle here, which ended up breaking out above. And again today, this descending triangle here, clear descending triangle, and it broke to the upside again. This is very interesting to see. Kind of faked me out. I definitely thought we were going to fall, but I'm not going to be stubborn. And if we're going to be bullish, then we're going to be bullish. All right. So we did break out, and we had a nice little size volume with that breakout. So we'll have to see if any volume follows through. If there's no more volume, we could get rejected. And guys, remember this 89.50 area where we did get rejected here will act as resistance when we approach it. But, first time, second time, third time, it might break. Now, if this is a fake out and we come back down to the descending triangle, we will most likely revisit back down to the bottom of this around the 8,500, 8,550 region, okay? So remember, if this does, end up falling down, you're going to have support down here around 8,500, 8,550. All right, so let's go to the 4-hour real quick and do an actual breakdown, and we will continue. All right, hit that like, guys, so you can see we have broken out of there, and we have our resistance. Now, if we can break above 89.50, I have the horizontal resistance 91.50. That was resistance here, flip support, and it will probably most likely be resistance again. You break that level, the next resistance is your 95.50, 9600, which was resistance, flip support. And if you go all the way back, it was resistance along here, support here, flipped resistance, resistance, support. So again, it will be resistance, okay? But if we can get back above that 91.50 region, I think we'll definitely make an attempt up higher. All right, so did we bottom after hitting the 0.5 Fibonacci? This is a possibility. I mean, often you will see corrections in Bitcoin and crypto. It's very normal, and you'd like to find support along the 0.5 Fibonacci or the golden retracement at 0.618. That is the golden retracement. So if we do end up collapsing, I've talked about 8,000 being a potential area of support. You also have this this purple trend line I have drawn. Let me zoom out a little bit so we can see that. This was support, holding up price here, holding up price here, and what do you know? It's lining up perfect with that 8,000 region, exactly where the Fibonacci is. So if we do fall, I would say that 8,000 would be probably a good area of support and maybe a bounce. But look, price is still pushing. It's at 88.74. So right now, looking a little bullish. We don't have to spend too much time talking bearish unless we are proven otherwise. If price drops, tomorrow's video will probably be a little more bearish. But right now, not looking too bad, okay? So let's continue. Go to the 4-hour. Let's look at our moving averages, see what we can see. On the 4-hour, we are back above the yellow 21 EMA, but we are hitting resistance here. The orange 50 EMAs at 88.86. That is where this pump kind of stalled out, okay? So we'll have to see how this 4-hour candle closes. There's 2 more hours in it left. Do we close right above, or even if we close just beneath it and have a solid green candle here, that's still good, because on the following one you could attempt to break it, okay? Now, if this 4-hour candle ends up being a big wick, a wick like this guy here, and comes back down, that will be bearish. But anything, maintaining this level to me is bullish, okay? So we want to get back above the 50 EMA, and then you have resistance, this 377, this dark green 377 at 9,000. But more importantly, that horizontal at 89.50 will have to break that. But the more times you hit a resistance, the weaker it gets, and the better chance you have of knocking through. All right. What else can we look at? Let's look at the Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands, you're going to have resistance. The top Bollinger Band is 89.60. just where that horizontal is, 89.60, 89.50, same deal, okay? You did find a little support along this middle BB, okay? And we are in the bullish territory of the Bollinger Bands. I should throw on my Ichimoku clouds real quick. Ichimoku, all right. Let's look at the Ichimoku. Ichimoku, we found support along this bottom conversion line. So, you know, we were looking at that descending triangle, and not only did you have this horizontal support of the descending triangle, but you also had this support here on the Ichimoku that held us up. So, you know what? That's kind of bullish that we were able to break out and then find support here. This is now going to be a higher low. You have a low and a higher low, okay? And you do have this resistance coming in though, right here. This red cloud could act as resistance if we meet it soon enough, okay? So we'll keep our eye on that. Stochastics on the 4-hour could cross up. If we continue bullish, we'll see a cross up on the 4-hour Stochs. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. And you have plenty of room to go on the RSI, all right? So going to the 12-hour. 12-hour Stochs are rising. The 12-hour Stochs are rising, and we also found support in the Ichimoku cloud. This is good. We found it here, bounced, came down, and bounced off the cloud again, forming that higher low. Your resistance will be this blue conversion on the Ichimoku 12-hour at 91.30. Bollinger Bands. On the Bollinger Bands, we are currently hitting this middle BB. So can we close the next 12-hour candle back into the bullish zone of the 12-hour Bollinger Bands? Let's see, okay? Only time will tell, okay? But look, if we can get back in here, there'll be a low, higher low, and you'll have a high and a higher high. This is a good start, good start. Hopefully, the whales aren't playing with us, okay? There's always that possibility, okay? So even if you were going short, if you had a stop, you might have got stopped out, but you know, at least you got stopped out. There's some people who take shorts down in this region and they are so convinced it's going to go to 7K, they don't even have a stop. They start laddering more shorts all the way up. They're like, you know what? We're not going to break above here. And they like even short here, they'll short here, here, and then they get liquidated up here. You know, that's not my style. I keep a stop loss, minimum risk. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and live to trade another day. All right. You know, it's been a little nerve-wracking day today because it was indecision. Indecisive, the whole market. We didn't know what to do, and I'm finally seeing some bullish action. And altcoins, we'll look at those at the end. Don't forget that, guys, okay? So our moving averages. Let's look at the 12-hour moving averages. 12-hour moving averages found support on the blue 10 simple and looking to close back above the this light green 200 EMA. You will have resistance on the yellow 21 EMA at 89.55. We spoke about 89.55 already, okay? So real quick, I just noticed the 1-hour candle closed. I don't like to look at the 1 hour too often, but you know, I do check in on it just to see what's happening. We did not close above the 200 EMA, but the fact that we maintained up here and did not just get a swift rejection back down is still looking good for the bulls, okay? So let's keep moving. Let's go to the daily. On the daily, okay, so the daily was a doji close. You know, this is as indecisive as it gets. There's like hardly any body here, just a equal wick on both sides. Your 200 simple on the daily was holding support, and your 100 EMA was acting as resistance. You did have this blue 10 simple coming down, acting as stiff resistance, pushing price down potentially, but we are above it. So next daily candle close, I mean, we got like 22 hours till the next daily candle close. So, you know, we got plenty of time, plenty of price. But if we can close above this, we might make and beat that 89.50 region. We'll probably make an attempt up to the 50 EMA at 90.85, and the yellow 21 is at 91.40. So we talked about our horizontal resistance at 91.50. So the next move, if we can close back above here in this region, I'd like to see this candle body close above these candle bodies. Actually, we need to close back above the daily yellow 21 EMA, and we can start marching on up again, okay? But let's not get too ahead of ourselves, one level at a time, as I say. Ichimoku cloud, we bounced off the bullish cloud here, okay? But we do have this pink baseline as resistance coming in at 89.20, around that 89.50 region. These indicators start adding up. You see lots of confluence when there's multiple indicators on multiple time frames, showing you the same levels, okay? So we need to break back above that, so then we can make our attempt at this one up here at 9,400. But you do have this bullish green cloud on the daily. Bollinger Bands, let's see if there's anything. Bollinger Bands still floating a little sideways, but you have this middle BB coming down at 92.92. Just have to keep our eye on that in the future. And the Stokes are pretty low here. They're just waiting. If we can get some momentum, they will start crossing up, and they have plenty of room to ride to the top if we can get bullish here again, okay? The RSI, I'm trying to see, we were saying yesterday it needs to break this downtrend. It sort of looks like it has, but there's plenty of time left. Not quite. So we need, but that makes sense. Look, we're hitting resistance right now. So if we do break that resistance, we'll also break this downward trend, okay? And that would be a nice bullish signal, okay? So what else? Oh, looking crazy. Okay. Take that away. Take the Bollinger Bands away. But what I did like was this 12-hour Stoke. This 12-hour Stoke is looking nice and healthy and plenty of room. So, and let's look at the RSI. On the RSI, do we have anything on the 12-hour? Let's draw a trend line real quick. It looks like we broke out of it on the 12-hour, broke above and retested it as support. So that could, one step at a time, 12-hour first and then the daily. So there's potential here. There's definitely potential here. How long? 17 minutes. Okay, we're doing good. So I think that's everything as far as Bitcoin goes. We can look at the weekly real quick. Always good to look at the weekly. We did look like we have a potential cross down on this Stokes on the weekly, but I was saying, this guy, he'll like kind of, the blue one looks like it will cross sometimes. You can see it here, here. But if the move doesn't happen, it's not confirmed until the actual, next weekly candle closes. So if we drop the next weekly candle close, you would see this actually cross. But if price continues up, it could bounce off of this pink one, red one, whatever color it is, and then keep going on up. Sort of how we had here and here, okay? So we're watching the Stokes on the weekly. And I think that's all I have to say. We're right in the middle, so I can't say, there hasn't been much for me to really say on the RSI. It's pretty neutral, but if we can get a bounce here and continue back this way, that would be amazing. Okay, let's look at the moving averages. See what we can see, because we did close this weekly under the yellow 21 EMA. The yellow 21 EMA on the weekly is 87.50. Price is at 88.80. We want to close back above it, okay? Got to close back above it. The blue 10 simple at 89.60. You're 89.50. So if we can get above 89.50, which we desperately need, we'll close back above all of them again, and that will be super bullish, and maybe we'll continue to march. Okay, you know what? I think that's all. Ichimoku, looking to close back inside of the Ichimoku cloud. We want to close back in here and then attempt the top of the cloud again. And also we want to see this blue conversion line cross back above the pink baseline. That will be a bullish Kumo cross if we can get that back in there. So we'll have to wait, plenty of time, about half a week left, okay? Let's look at the Heikin Ashis real quick. I've been skipping the Heikin Ashi for a while. So on the weekly, that doesn't look so good. Doesn't look so good, but there's plenty of time left in this week, okay? Let's go down to the 1 day. The 1 day is bullish on the Heikin Ashi. So, you know, if we can continue up, we might have a nice little rally here, okay? On the 12-hour, it's bullish. So this is also good. We did have some bearish ones coming in, but the current 12-hour Heikin Ashi is bullish. And finally, on the 4-hour, also bullish, okay? So let's see if we can get some volume to come in, some momentum. You know, maybe the stock markets get a nice bounce. You know, I know Mr. Donald Trump will do whatever he can to keep the stock market pumping, okay? So, you know, yesterday we were saying, you know, when the stock market's doing well, Bitcoin will do well, just because, you know, if you had a lot of money, you know, just like you were a billionaire or something, you know, you're not jumping out of the stock market to jump into one of the craziest volatile assets out there, Bitcoin. I wouldn't, you know, I would want it somewhere safe. But when the stock market's doing well, you have more opportunity to jump into some riskier assets like Bitcoin. So I think the stock market doing well is actually a good thing for Bitcoin, okay? I don't think we want to see the whole, you know, stock market crash, because basically when the stock market crashes, then people want to be safer with their money and they're not going to go running to Bitcoin. The only people who would think that are people who love crypto and just that's all that they like, okay? Anyways, that's my own opinion. These are my own opinions. I am not a financial advisor. All right. And my opinions can change. That's the good thing. At least I can change. I don't hold on to any. All right, 21 minutes. I try to move fast. I don't want these to be too long. So let's go to let's go to the altcoins, okay? So let's look at Tezos. This was good to see for Tezos. I'll go back to the regular candles. Looking at the daily, we finally got that close back above the yellow 21 EMA. For days, Tezos just could not close back above. We were just bouncing in this range, but today you got a nice solid green candle, close back above. You know, Link had been pretty bullish itself, so can Tezos, you know, start to rally here? Let's look at our Stokes. The daily Stokes are crossed up from the bottom. Plenty of room to go if we are bullish on Tezos. You know, the thing is, if Bitcoin just decides to dump super hard, I'm sure the whole altcoin market will dump hard. Yes, Tezos has outperformed Bitcoin, but you can see that when Bitcoin dumped, Tezos also dumped, all right? So, you know, there's always that risk with the altcoins. That's the only tricky part with altcoins, is you have to be watching Bitcoin's chart too. If you don't pay attention to Bitcoin's chart, you can get the rug pulled out from underneath you. But if Bitcoin holds, at least, you know, holds sideways, maybe slowly pushes up or pumps up, you're going to see coins like this probably perform well. So we'll just keep watching, but that was bullish to see on Tezos. Going over to Link. Link did something very bullish yesterday. Let's see. I got this here. Okay, so we had this horizontal line of resistance. The daily close barely just above. I couldn't quite call it above. You know, it was almost. So I wasn't sure what to think yesterday. It did look pretty good, and we did have a nice rally, and then it actually had a retrace, but, you know, breakout, retest. So we broke out of that horizontal, we retested that horizontal, and now we are bouncing off of it. So far this is looking good. And on the 4-hour, you found support on the blue 10 simple. It was holding up the price action here and currently bouncing off of it now, okay? So If we can maintain above this as support, you could see Link go for all-time high again. All right, so Link and Tezos are looking pretty good. Let's look at XRP real quick. XRP still going sideways, not much movement yet. This guy's probably just waiting on Bitcoin to make a more decisive move. The 10 simple is pushing price down, but we also saw that on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin can keep pushing higher, I think you'll see XRP also goes higher. So the next level for XRP on the daily, if we are able to break above, would be this 100 EMA, 25 cents. You see this cluster, the yellow 21 EMA, the 100 EMA. There's a little cluster here. It's coming around 25 cents. So that would be the first target at least. Litecoin also a similar situation as XRP. You have the 10 simple coming down, but if you're able to break that, possibly a test up in this region, the yellow 21 EMA is around $65. And Ethereum, also very similar. But you see, Ethereum and Tezos were very similar, being stuck between the yellow 21 EMA and the 50 EMA. They were both bouncing between the two. Tezos broke out, so will Ethereum be the next to break out? Have to watch and see. The daily Stokes pretty low. I mean, all of the coins are low on the daily Stokes. So this could be the pullback. You know what? I need to look at the weekly 21 EMA. Okay, so Ethereum is above all moving averages. It found support here. It did not break beneath the moving 100 EMA. Still above the yellow 21 EMA. So Ethereum technically is still in a bull trend, bull market, being above the weekly yellow 21 EMA. Let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin beneath it, so it needs to reclaim it. XRP also, well, XRP is beneath all of the moving averages, so this one's going to have a little tougher time, but I got a little blurry. Hopefully I haven't been blurry the whole video here. It gets a little harder to get my lighting right at night. But we're almost done with the video, so let's just keep it going. Not much I could do here. You still can hear my voice, and you can see the chart, and that's all that matters. Tezos is above, well above its weekly 21 EMA, looking bullish, and I'm sure Link is too. All right, so there you guys go. Hit that like. We'll see you next time. This has been Crypto Rolly. This is not financial advice. I'll see you guys.